All right, all right. We are live. All right. I'm a little early, giving people time to come on. 5 minutes before we get to meet the amazing Dr. Rani and talk about some very, very important issues. So I'm just going to pull this up on my computer and wait a minute. My other computer got so much going on. Happy July, everybody. There we go. Scared me for a minute, but it's up. Okay. Okay. 1 minute left. All right, all right. It is exactly 7 p.m. and I know people will be populating. I am so excited. This is Cheryl Banks. I am the founder of the Beauty Box for Him, Women Empowerment and Bible Studies. And if you don't know about us, we are an organization. We are just so like determined to get women to understand how God sees them. We're about getting to know God, growing in that knowing, and showing Him to others. That's what we do at the box. And we love to bring on people that enlighten and empower. So I'm excited. So if you're here, I see you populating. Put a heart, put an emoji, say hello, let us know you're here. We're so excited. I just recently met Dr. Rani through RL King, an author, and she came on to one of our she came on to our wow event probably a couple months ago, and this is kind of a follow-up. She talked about self-care. And today we're going a step further. We're talking about surviving the aftermath of domestic violence. I am so excited to hear what she has to share. Hey, RL. Hey, Alice Richardson. Good to see y'all. Yes, yes, yes. So as we're speaking, you can ask questions and we will answer the questions. And right now, take a moment to invite a few friends. Send them the link. Let me put the link right here. Let me see if I can do it. Let's see if my computer will do it. BBX. Yeah. Take a minute to send this out to a couple of people because it's very, very important. You may not be going through it, but somebody's going through it. They say 1 in 4 women, 1 in 4 are experiencing domestic violence. So that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, but it's so true. Hey all. Hey y'all. I don't know that person, but hey. Good to see you. We are so excited. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Dr. Rani Wilburn Smith. I was looking for her accolades, but she needs no introduction. We introduced her last time. She's amazing. She is into social work. I feel like she feels in a different way because she's been through some things. And that's what this is all about. I am excited. I'm going to bring her on. She's going to introduce herself and she is going to tell you what she's here for and what's happening. I'm going to bring her on right now. A huge round of applause for Dr. Rani. Isn't she beautiful?
Hello.
She's so cute. Where are your glasses? I love them so much.
Well, I thought I would, give you my natural face before I have to throw
those
them
glasses
on
are like a prescription as needed, right? I have
Absolutely.
them too.
Thank you
I have
for
them
having
too.
me
I just
on
love
the
you
house.
so much, and I want to thank you for coming on and just pouring into the beauty box. Let me turn off the music real quick. Wait a minute. Let me turn off the music. Pouring into the beauty box from your experiences. I love the fact that you've been through some things. You have a testimony and you can share on a level that a lot of people can't. So tell us who you are and why you're here. And you're so cute.
Thank you. Thank
Isn't
you.
she cute? She has like the perfect little peanut head. I love her. I mean,
Listen, H-Town in the house. So listen, I am a social worker of over 15 years. And my story is definitely on your on the first episode that's on your YouTube channel. So for the sake of time, I'd ask your guests to just, revisit that video because it really explains in detail how I migrated to New York and also how working with vulnerable populations and in the state of New York, the learning and training really endowed me with knowledge of domestic violence as a child welfare worker. Unfortunately, that was oftentimes the reasons we were called in to, mitigate issues of safety and risk. And of course, I had a failed marriage and but all of these different pockets of information and experiences has made me who I am today. And so, of course, my capstone, which was focused on Black social worker self-care, is a curriculum that I wrote for master level social workers in for educational purposes. And for some reason, though, the issues of domestic violence, especially over these last, 6 months, has really kept me in the center of, we have to make sure we're educating populations on healing from domestic violence, because it's kind of impossible to enact self-care when you have been victimized and abused. So that's who I am, and I am a work in progress. I am so happy to have connected with you, your platform, your team, and I so look forward to partnering with many more projects, because you are phenomenal at what you do. And that's the reason I'm here, to be quite honest.
What I love about Dr. Rani is she's still on the potter's wheel. She says that she is a work in progress. We all are. And I love sisters who come. We don't necessarily have it all together, because you need to know that we don't have it all together. We don't.
Yeah.
We're work in progress, just as she said, and we're still on the potter's wheel. But my thing is, in the Beauty Box, Women Empowerment and Bible Studies, the Beauty Box for him is that we have to learn to see ourselves as Christ sees us. When we do that, we see ourselves as daughters of the King. We think differently, and we are different when we share ourselves with others. My daughter, and some of you have children, my son, my daughter, you want them to be confident. And so when you're confident, you love yourself and all the things, you make different choices. And a lot of people don't. So that's where we are with this. It's like, domestic violence is serious. 1 out of every 4, I think 1 out of every 3, but 1 out of every 4 they're facing this. And Dr. Rani came on with us like a month or so, a little more than a month ago, and she shared self-care as you're going through domestic violence. And now we're going through, okay, you've been through it, now what? And I'm excited that she's here. I love her spirit. So Dr. Rani, what do you have to share with us? And feel free, guys, to have questions. Put your questions. She loves it. She wants you to interact with her and ask questions, because you personally may not be going through this, but you know somebody. Everybody knows somebody. I grew up knowing people. I know that my mom faced it. That's a reason that her and my dad are not together, part of that. So I faced it. I saw it as a kid. And so, yeah, that's what we're all in this together. And that's what I love about the Beauty Box. We're together. Go, great, Dr. Gray.
Thank you for being brave and sharing your positionality as it relates to domestic violence, because it segues into the title, Surviving the Aftermath. And that's exactly what you just described. Oftentimes we go through victim blaming through the process, and you don't have to be the targeted victim per se, where you're experiencing the direct assault. But even if it could be, maybe your neighbor is aware, and that vicarious trauma is impacting your neighbor. Okay. Intimate partner violence is domestic violence, but there are also other areas of domestic violence as it relates to, it could be domestic violence within your jobs. It could be domestic violence within your local communities, your churches. Domestic violence is anytime there is an unalignment where there are issues of power and control. Okay, so I just wanted to start there. And your guests, if you all do not have a question, I hope you'd have a comment, because everyone is an expert. Everyone is brilliant in their own way. So, it doesn't have to be about Dr. Rani. It's about us coming together to empower one another. In the
Yes.
domains of surviving domestic violence, in most cases, victims have been victimized repeatedly. And so you lose a sense of who am I? And you said it so well in your introduction. You said, quote unquote, how God sees us. Now, when you talk about how God sees us and we're conflicted within our own self identity, right? Right there, it kind of, separates you from your alignment with your spiritual well-being. And that's a very important component to healing. When we talk about healing from domestic violence, we know that domestic violence is initiated through physical abuse like hitting, pushing, restraining, emotional abuse like insults, humiliation, manipulation, psychological abuse, intimidation, isolation, gaslighting, controlling behaviors, and financial abuse, restricting assets. And the reason I wanted to go through that short list, which is not exhaustive, is because the three main focuses on healing and reclaiming your voice is supportive networks, professional support, self-care practices. What comes up with the crowd? Do your crowd have any comments, anything coming up for your crowd with just those breakdowns and definitions?
I don't see any comments or questions about it as of yet, but I know that I know some of these ladies personally, and they've experienced it. So I know they have things going through their minds. So you guys,
Okay.
please ask questions or share anything, to the comment section. I'll let you know. Yeah.
All right. Oh, please do stop me because I don't want to dominate this conversation. I would like for it to be a group involved conversation if possible. And if not, we'll get there eventually. It's a tough subject and I could definitely understand reservation.
Yeah, with this subject, there's a lot of shame because a lot of ladies who are sharp women all their lives, they get caught up in this and they don't want to share because they're ashamed that they're in this position. They allowed themselves to be isolated. They allowed themselves to go through all of this. And it's so sad but I just want people to understand you're not alone. There's so many people going through this. You're not alone. The evil one would have you think you're by yourself. Nobody, but that's not true.
So when you talk about like the shame, the guilt and shame, this is the reason your platform is so important because it brings a sense of connection. And the more you become connected with others that are focused on positive lifestyles, the more you're able to then become into your own identity through self-care. Well, what is self-care in this matter? So self-care is not just how you pamper yourself, like going to the beauty salon or something like that. Self-care first really starts with deep self-reflection. And that is the toughest experience an individual can have, which is the reason it is so important, if needed, to connect to professional help. Because you're so jaded through the experience of domestic violence without some type of either self-learned information or someone who has learned and licensed and who can guide you through it, you will stay stuck because feelings are also seasonal. So for instance, this is summertime. For those who are recovering and trying to reimagine their lives without domestic violence, healing from domestic violence. Summertime is awesome. Why? The weather is cheerful. You can dress a little bit more free. You're not bundled up, which oftentimes when you're bundled up, you can have feelings of shame and guilt because, maybe someone can't see your outfit, which is expressive to your identity. And so it can be a seasonal experience. And so importance of self-reflection through all seasons and having that one-on-one time with yourself is I can't emphasize it more. How you'll be like a hamster on a wheel without that person, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from my own. I'm saying it hurts as a professional who do this work. I've worked with enough individuals in trainings to know everyone have different ways of healing. And so finding your niche is important.
Yeah. And what I always say, and you've heard it many times from many people, is that hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so important that we break the cycle, because if we're going through it and we're not healing, and so many, especially our people, don't believe in getting help. It's a sign of weakness. They've always been told that I don't need somebody to, you know what I mean? It's like a sign of weakness to get help. And that's so sad, because our days are truly numbered. And
Absolutely.
I feel like the tests that we go through can be a testimony for others and a healing process for ourselves. Because when you help somebody else, to me, going through cancer, I'm hooked up to a chemo, like cancer thing right now. It's giving me chemo right now. So I'm going through this, and what is that to keep it all to myself? You know,
Right.
what I'm going through, how I'm growing closer to God, and all the things I share with others to help others, not for me. So God gives us tests to
That's
use as
right.
testimonies. So you may have gone through some crap, some things you didn't deserve. I used to be a CPS social worker, and I saw some kids go through some things that I
Yes.
couldn't be a social worker. First of all, they didn't pay me enough to be that depressed. And second of all, I could not believe what these children are going through with people that are supposed to care for them, protect them, and all the things. So just so you know, let's see. We have comments. Domestic violence. Here is from Al. Can you see the comment, Dr. Rani?
Yes, I can read it for you if you would like.
Glasses.
Domestic violence is very bad. I watched my mom get beat weekly. I promised down I would never stay with anyone that beat me, and he gave me the strength to keep that promise.
Yes.
Thank you, Alicia.
Alice. That's Alice Richardson.
I'm sorry, Alice.
That's all right. This is Ariel King.
Okay. You want to go? Or what
What
do you
suggest for women who are too afraid to get help?
I love that. That is a big one. That is a big one. And thank you for the shared experience of CPS work and with social work, because that's a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say it's not just intimate partner violence. That is a form of domestic violence. Domestic means anything within your dwelling place.
Yeah.
Anything where you commute. That's
I didn't know it was a such thing as failure to thrive syndrome.
Oh, of course.
I mean, people literally don't physically grow. Physically, it's so crazy. And let me put this up here, Dr. Rani. I know you didn't tell me to do this, but I'm feeling like I need to.
Okay.
She shared this. She shared this image of how it's all connected. Can you just speak on that 1 minute?
Yes.
I mean,
okay. And then this is going to segue into our King 33 how we suggest those how they can get help if they're afraid, right? So let me just go back to say, as it relates to when someone is experiencing, so I was going to piggyback with Erik Erikson's stages of development. That's one of my favorite theoretical approaches, because with Erik Erikson's 8 stages of development, you're able to really see from the beginning of life, meaning from when you're placed in the womb, which is really where the intersectional life model is derived from, through end years of death, right? And that's what you're referring to when you say individuals can become stuck. So for Alicia, who gave the example, I made a promise.
Alice Richardson.
Alice Richardson. I should put my glasses back on. I apologize, Alice. Alice.
Okay, Alice. Yeah, that's my
Alice.
mom. That's why I know.
Okay. As it relates to the promise being made on I will never go, that experience can keep one stuck in that stage. And being stuck in that stage leads to where our King 33 is coming in. That fear from when you were, and I'm just giving a hypothetical age, 7 years old, of seeing your parents go through domestic violence. And then here you now become an adult and you experience the same violence. Unfortunately, that individual may not experience it in the adult psyche and may revert to that 7-year-old. And that's where that fear comes in. How do I get help? Mommy tried to leave, and this is what dad done to her. So I can't leave, right? Because they're stuck in that same cycle. Mm-hmm. So what I recommend and suggest is, again, connection. This is why this platform is so important. Because this is how you give people strength. Right now, media is the way of information. So a person, has the privilege because they have to be safe. They may, listen to their head pods or ear pods and come across your information. And from there, begin to make a plan or even reach out to you discreetly. Mm-hmm. This is how you can get help in this day and time. It's kind of who you know and what areas of domain that you're operating in. So the elements of self-care. Now it segues into what I'll sum it up of what I just said. So the mind. We just talked about the Erik Erikson's stages of development, right? And so that's where that professional lens come in. I can't tell you how many clients I have been able. Can we put it back up just so I know it's okay. So with the mind, that's where we're talking about the experiences of professional help, right? Because I want to pinpoint what you said. This is an area where that individual can see where they're stuck, what's keeping them in the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Then listening to their body, being able to, through maybe therapy, for example, your therapist, in my practice, I often teach deep breathing. I have tools that allow individuals to pace themselves so that they can connect with what they're feeling. And then the social aspect would be your platform. And so I just wanted to show before you, switch the screen, just how these three principles are so linked to healing in various ways that centers on self-care. Thank you.
No, she says thank you. I'm telling you, and you were talking about that. R.L. King says something else that was good. She says, I was told by the police that they can't do anything unless someone is already like physically harming you. And by then it's too late. I mean, what is a restraining order? It's a piece of paper. If you have a psycho person who just decides that they want to end you or it doesn't matter, I mean, what is that about?
So that's where the tough self-reflection comes in. That self-reflection of, all right, I know this man's or my partner's cycle at this point. It's going to probably be bad in the morning. In your last episode, we talked about making sure you had preparations so that you can leave if you need to. Leaving is the main barrier of getting people and individuals safe, right?
And some people call it, like some people, Dr. Rani, they have a go bag. You know what I mean?
That go bag.
Suitcase bag. And you may not be able to keep it at your house, but there's somewhere else you could keep it.
There you go. There you go. And that's something I jotted down is with victim blaming often leaves survivors overwhelmed with repairing their lives. Reasons people victim blame, meaning the perpetrator, is for self-reflection, self-protection, right? And so it knows that if the police come, they may go to jail. So they're going to do everything within their power to intimidate through power and control so that that person won't even think twice to call the police on them. Okay. So self-protection and a false sense of security. You have some abusers who are so bold. So like the comment RL made just now, in that the police may say, hey, we can't do anything until something happens. That's reinforcing a false sense of security. Because if I can't trust the police will save me, then who will? Right? So those are all, unfortunately, tactics.
That reminds me of when you're being abused as a child. I went through that, child abuse, or, and they tell you, hey, if you tell anybody, I'm going to harm your family or whatever. And it's just really scared and sad.
I see Wilburn 22. So I want to let me read the comment here. Yeah. Everyone has experienced, rather firsthand, generational or inherited. It is paramount that individuals recognize abusive characteristics and treat them accordingly through whatever means. I wanted to take the moment to especially highlight this statement because Wilburn 22 and I are working on a project around psychopathy, being able to identify perpetrators, and that's their area of expertise.
That's what psychopathy means?
Psychopathy means, a lot of people may say, antisocial behavior. Psychopathy are individuals who just don't have the capacity to feel. They have no remorse, absolutely no remorse. So that's a whole webinar.
Yeah.
That because it takes someone from law enforcement to really be able to break down the mindset, because prison means nothing to that individual.
For sure. R. King 33. Media shows the aftermath, that which has resulted in a lot of deaths. A lot of women who seek help, get protective orders, seem to be victimized by the perpetrator even more. Could that be a cause?
A cause of?
I don't know. Could that be
the victim not leaving?
Maybe not wanting to report, maybe.
Absolutely. All of these are the coercive behaviors of power and control. And so this is the reason, part of what I'm looking for when I'm going out into the community and considering being employed in the community. I'm in a stage where, with all of the research that I have participated in and analyzed, I see the importance of community connection. And so it does take professionals to also take responsibility, because people are trusting us. This is a reason that I'm here today. It's because I would like to take that accountability. It's not about just being a Dr. Rani. It's about giving informed information and disseminating information that not only can help others, but also encourage professionals, because professionals are not exempt from the same vicarious trauma. There are some professionals who will not even work in the field of domestic violence because of their own trauma. So that's where the identity comes in of healing. How do you start over? It takes time. And that's the emphasis of tonight's episode. It's surviving the aftermath takes time.
Right. And I always think, I like what you said about seeking professional help because I have heard and I believe that we attract who we are, not who we want. We attract, the experiences that we've been through. We attract that, not who we want. So seeking professional help, I think, is a really good thing. Community connection, of course, you need to be, even like in addictions and everything, changing your environment can mean a lot. If you stay where the abuse and the trauma and drama is happening, it's hard to change. And learn to see yourself, because the beauty box is all about God, the Bible. Learn to see yourself as who God sees you, the world, and even yourself after you've been jaded by the world. You don't see yourself as a masterpiece, as a person who God delights in spending time with. No matter what you've been through, what you've done, he's always got his hands open for you to come back to him. You can't get so low. And I think that part of the problem with domestic violence and any kind of abuse is that people don't understand their worth and their value in this on the spiritual level. And RL mentioned fear. And we call fear false evidence appearing real, because a lot of times, reporting or doing what you need to do, you feel like something's going to happen and it's not going to be as bad as you thought. So yeah, y'all, it's a huge problem, and surviving the aftermath, it's going to require a lot of internal work.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to add, because we talked a lot about, healing through connections, but I also want to highlight creative expression is important. Finding out what you love, what are your passions, because most important for a survivor to understand is that is the very thing the abuser, regardless if it's intimate partner or neighborly love partner, okay? However you've been abused and by whomever, they've targeted your brilliance. You have to will that back in, and creative expressions. So it may be the love for jigsaw puzzles, right? I remember when since this is a woman empowerment group, I am not ashamed and highlight to say, when I went through my hysterectomy, I purchased a 1,000 piece puzzle, and it says, "Let the sun shine in." And while I was out, I just worked on that puzzle, and today I have it, framed. And when I look at that, it makes me want to create more. The reason I'm sharing that example is creative expression can be financially affordable. It doesn't always have to be where you're spending a lot of money, and because that's another highlight in regrouping is recognizing your identity, which you spoke about, the financial piece, because you will experience financial barriers one way or the other. It doesn't matter how much money you have. When you have to change your ID, your living locations, you have to sometimes pay for shelter. That's another reason victims don't leave. How many people want to go into a homeless shelter that's not the best?
Right.
When they're maybe living in a penthouse. Right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about financial, those are the strategies that we're looking at. And then lastly, the self-care piece.
Man, it's so hard. It's so hard, but nothing's too hard for God.
No.
Is nothing too hard for him. Somebody had a great, here you go. Let's see what this says. We're going to take an extra 5 minutes because this was good. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong thing.
I actually watched my phone this time.
This is such a great topic to cover in these socially challenging times. Love the collaboration. Oh, thank you. It's so true. People are stressed out in this environment today, this political environment today. I mean, I went to the grocery store today and I was like, what is the prices And you know what? The prices are going up, but the paychecks aren't going up. So maybe somebody's stressed out in the house, and it's like you. And why is it that abusers, they give their best to the outside, and the inside, the people who love them, get the worst of them? So, it's
It's
rough.
always about, because that there, and I love that you bring that up. It may seem simple, but abusers are very strategic.
Mm,
And so they're going to build their outside platform like they are completely great,
isn't that funny?
because they want to. That's what gaslighting is. They want to be able to gaslight their
Mm,
situations. And that's where the psychopathy comes in. They'll be dishonest to anyone, even
mm,
themselves. And
yeah,
so that's why I say domestic violence or intimate partner violence, it's not just impactful to the victim itself, it's also the people connected. They experience pain too, residual effects. And that's what makes our world bitter.
yeah,
And we have to change that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Janet Potts 1945 says, how do you identify abuse that does not leave physical marks, evidence, or is not openly abusive, such as verbal, emotional, and isolation?
that's psychological abuse. That's
Yeah.
what you would call psychological abuse. And or some may say emotional abuse. And to be honest, that's one of the greatest forms of domestic violence or intimate partner violences that you experience, is, those abuses that are gaslit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what is being described. So that was an excellent point brought up there.
Yeah. And this is a good one from R. King 33. Mental illness is real on every level. Therapy is not affordable if he has left you broken and penniless. What do? You don't have money. You don't feel like.
So every city and state, and I understand there are rural areas where there may not be those possibilities, but domestic violence is governed by the United States government offices. That's how serious it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there is funding for states, for individuals to get help free. Now, that help may be for 14 weeks. It may not be an exhaustive period of time, but there are also plenty therapists like myself who will charge a person. And my philosophy when it comes to therapy is this. One of the strategies in me not accepting insurance is because in working in a mental health clinic, I learned my clients well. And I felt going into private practice where they were pushing me, that, when I got ready to leave the clinic, I felt it was very important that they understood the investment of self. Meaning, if individuals can pay to get your nails done, and it's not cheap in this day and time, like back in the day, it used to be like $20, right? $30 is okay. And a real professional, it may not have to happen weekly. That's, so you want to seek out therapists. And then there's platforms like we mentioned last time, Open Path. Though that's a platform for individuals who can't afford to pay. And therapists have made a commitment to keep a bare minimum of, like, I think it's now at $70 a session. But if your therapist is good, you may only need biweekly. You may need a payment plan. Like,
Right.
it can be worked out. And so I would just encourage individuals, don't let the notion of money stop you from healing. That's your investment in you.
100%. Don't let money stop you, because, like I said, nothing's too hard for God, and there's always somebody out there that will help you.
That's right.
Keep asking. Don't get caught up. Feelings are not facts. Don't trust your feelings. Okay, Dr. Rainey, if you were going to leave with one word, what would you like to leave everyone with?
Hope.
Hope. Hope. Hope. There's hope. Don't give up on yourself. The storm can only last so long. The sun will come out, and then you will be able to help other people. Okay?
Mhm.
That's what it's all about. Thank you so much, Dr. Rainey.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And y'all, we're going to do something on Dr. Rainey's platform on the 15th of July. And
Yes.
so save the date, 7 o'clock, July 15th, Central Standard Time, and we will make sure that we get you the information. Alice Richards, or Alice, what did she say? I saw her. She said, hope. That's a good word. Yes, it is. I love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We love you so much.
I love you more.
Dr. Rainey is going to leave her email and everything in our Beauty Box Facebook group. And, you could always reach out to me or her and have any questions. Somebody who's going through things. Of course, there's a national hotline, but sometimes you just need to talk to people you're familiar with. Anyway, we love y'all, and we are growing on the Potter's Wheel, getting through all of this together. We're supporting and encouraging each other. Let's not give up meeting together. It's all a part of the process. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Take care.
You're welcome.